Episode 7 opens in the suffocating aftermath of Vox's perfect deception, where the air itself feels poisoned by betrayal and the weight of what has been lost. Lucifer stands alone in the ruins of his own pride, replaying the moment when Charlie's voice, stolen and twisted by Vox's digital sorcery, lured him into a trap that should never have worked. A father's instinct, a daughter's love, turned into bait. The humiliation cuts deeper than any blade ever could, carving wounds into the soul of a being who once defied heaven itself and paid the price with eternal exile. For millennia, Lucifer ruled through presence, through the sheer gravitational pull of his authority. Demons feared him not because of what he did, but because of what he was, the original rebel, first to choose defiance over obedience, the spark that lit the flames of independence in a universe designed for submission. But Vox has proven that in the modern age of hell, presence means nothing if perception can be controlled. And perception, Vox understands, is the only battlefield that truly matters. He does not need to destroy Lucifer physically. He needs to destroy the idea of Lucifer, to show every demon in hell that the old king is nothing but a relic, a symbol of a past that no longer holds relevance. The realization settles into Lucifer's chest, like ice water, freezing the rage that threatens to consume him, and forcing him to confront a terrifying truth. This is not a war he can win by simply showing up and unleashing divine fury. Vox has turned hell into a chessboard, and every move Lucifer makes is being watched, recorded, analyzed, and broadcasted to an audience that hungers for spectacle. The king of hell is no longer fighting an enemy. He is fighting a narrative, a story being written in real time by a demon who understands that whoever controls the story controls reality itself. Meanwhile, the Hazbin Hotel exists in a state of fragile tension, its walls no longer feeling like protection, but like paper barriers waiting to be torn apart. Charlie moves through the halls with a smile that barely hides the terror gnawing at her insides, trying desperately to maintain hope for the souls who look to her for guidance. But the weight of responsibility has become almost unbearable. She knows, even if she does not say it aloud, that Vox's attack on her father was also an attack on her, on everything she represents. By using her voice as a weapon, Vox turned her into the instrument of her father's pain, forcing her to carry guilt for something she never did. The psychological precision of it is almost beautiful in its cruelty. Vox did not just hurt Lucifer. He drove a wedge between father and daughter, planting seeds of doubt and shame that could grow into something far more destructive than any physical wound. Vaggie sees this struggle and refuses to let Charlie drown in it. She becomes the anchor, the voice of reason cutting through the storm of self-blame, reminding Charlie that guilt is a trap designed to paralyze, and that the only way forward is to rise above it. Their relationship, tested by secrets and lies in earlier episodes, now becomes the foundation upon which the hotel's resistance is built. Together, they begin to strategize, knowing that Vox will not stop with Lucifer, that his ambition demands total control, and that the hotel represents everything he despises. A place where chaos is embraced, where redemption is possible, where demons are not reduced to data points in a surveillance network, but treated as individuals capable of change. The very existence of the Hazbin Hotel is a rebellion against Vox's vision of hell, and he will not allow it to survive. In the depths of Vox's city, angel dust remains trapped in a nightmare engineered with surgical precision. Screens surround Angel, displaying images and videos carefully selected to break him. Memories of his past, twisted and distorted. Scenes from the hotel, manipulated to make him believe his friends have abandoned him. Messages that whisper lies into his mind, telling him that he is worthless, that redemption was always a fantasy, that he deserves every second of this torment. Vox knows that Angel Dust is not just a prisoner, he is a symbol, the first soul to believe in Charlie's dream, the living proof that even the most broken demons can find hope. By destroying Angel, Vox aims to destroy the dream itself, to send a message to every demon in hell that hope is a lie and that the only truth is power. Yet deep within the layers of pain and despair, a spark refuses to die. Angel clings to fragments of memory that Vox cannot erase. The warmth of Husk's forgiveness, the sound of Charlie's laughter, the feeling of belonging, fragile and new, but real in ways that pain cannot touch. These memories become lifelines, thin threads pulling him back from the edge every time he feels himself slipping into darkness. Vox's greatest mistake is assuming that suffering always leads to submission. What he fails to understand is that angel dust has survived a lifetime of darkness, has endured torments that would shatter weaker souls, and has learned that survival is not about avoiding pain, but about refusing to let pain define you. The moment Angel finds even a sliver of strength, even a whisper of defiance, Vox's perfect plan begins to crack. Alastor, imprisoned within a cell designed to suppress his magic, exists in forced stillness that would drive most demons to madness. The radio demon, whose power once filled hell with screams filtered through static, now sits in silence, stripped of the abilities that made him a legend. But Alastor does not panic. He does not rage. He observes. Every flicker of the technology that holds him, every subtle shift in the air that suggests weakness, Alastor understands something fundamental about power that Vox, in his arrogance, has forgotten. True power is not about control, it is about adaptation. And while Vox believes his technological superiority makes him invincible, Alastor sees the cracks forming in the foundation. Systems built too quickly, ambitions stretched too thin, confidence bloated into blindness. Vox's empire is a house of cards built on a foundation of hubris, and Alastor knows that when it falls, the collapse will be spectacular. So he waits, patient and calculating, his smile never fading even in captivity. Because Alastor does not fear irrelevance, he fears boredom. And the chaos that is coming promises to be the most entertaining spectacle hell has seen in centuries. As Episode 7 deepens, the atmosphere across hell shifts from tension to something far more primal. Fear. Not the sudden jolt of terror that comes from immediate danger, but the slow, creeping dread that settles into bones and refuses to leave. Vox's drones multiply like a mechanical plague, swarming through districts that once belonged to overlords who ruled through violence and intimidation. But violence means nothing against an enemy that feels no pain, and intimidation fails when faced with machines that register emotion only as data to be analyzed and exploited. The drones do not attack randomly. They observe. They catalog. They map every escape route, every hiding place, every whispered conversation that hints at resistance. Vox has transformed hell into a surveillance state so complete that privacy becomes a memory, and the simple act of existing under his gaze feels like violation. Demons who once moved freely through the streets now glance upward constantly, watching the red eyes of machines that watch them back. Some flee to the outskirts, hoping distance will provide safety. Others lock themselves away, praying that walls will offer protection, but most simply continue their routines, paralyzed by the realization that there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and no way to fight an enemy that sees everything and forgets nothing. This is the power Vox has cultivated. Not the power to destroy, but the power to make destruction feel inevitable, to strip away hope before the first shot is ever fired. And as his machines spread like oil across water, hell begins to understand that the war has already begun. It simply has not turned violent yet. Inside the towering structure that serves as Vox's command center, the demon himself stands surrounded by a symphony of screens that pulse with information streams flowing from every corner of hell. His smile never wavers, carved into his face like a permanent expression of triumph. To Vox, this moment represents the culmination of everything he has worked toward. Not just power, but the kind of power that rewrites reality itself. He does not need to conquer hell through traditional warfare. Inside the towering structure that serves as Vox's command center, the demon himself stands surrounded by a symphony of screens that pulse with information streams flowing from every corner of hell. His smile never wavers, carved into his face like a permanent expression of triumph. To Vox, this moment represents the culmination of everything he has worked toward. Not just power, but the kind of power that rewrites reality itself. He does not need to conquer hell through traditional warfare. He conquers it by controlling what demons see, what they hear, what they believe to be true. His fingers dance across holographic interfaces, adjusting camera angles, manipulating footage, crafting narratives that will air across every screen in hell when the moment arrives. He has prepared a broadcast designed to shatter whatever remains of Lucifer's reputation, a carefully edited masterpiece that will show the fallen king as weak, foolish, outdated, and irrelevant.